Gold is one of the oldest obsessions in human history. It has captivated kings, fueled empires, and led armies into the unknown. But before the age of conquest and coin, before vaults and treasuries, gold in ancient America held a meaning few understand today. For many indigenous cultures, gold was never simply a store of wealth. It was a bridge to the divine. It was the blood of the earth, the breath of the sun, the flesh of spirits. It adorned the gods not for vanity, but as an act of sacred communion. Gold was buried in offerings, melted into masks for rituals, and shaped into symbols that only shamans could read. And yet, across the Americas, stories persist of lost gold trails, mysterious mines, and ancient operations whose secrets remain buried in mountain caves and jungle ruins. These aren't the mines plundered by the Spanish. They are older, deeper, and more elusive. Some say they were carved by civilizations lost to time. Others say they were protected by curses and sacred laws. In this episode, we follow those trails. From the sun-scorched Superstition Mountains to the misty cloud forests of Peru, we'll examine real evidence, oral histories, and unexplained discoveries. As we go, we'll ask, who mined America's first gold? Why did they hide it? And what became of the people who once walked the golden paths? East of Phoenix, Arizona, rises a jagged range known as the Superstition Mountains. Today, they draw hikers, thrill seekers, and conspiracy theorists. But for centuries, they've drawn something else: gold hunters. The most famous legend is the Lost Dutchman mine, allegedly discovered by Jacob Waltz in the 1800s. He took its location to the grave, and treasure seekers have vanished in the desert ever since. But long before Waltz, the local Apache people spoke of sacred gold. They said the thunder god hid it within the mountains to protect it from those who would misuse it. Anyone who disturbed it would face ruin or madness. These stories weren't metaphors. They were warnings. Spanish expeditions in the 16th century were told of golden canyons, but those who sought them met strange fates: disappearances, insanity, or death. Even today, the U.S. Forest Service occasionally investigates missing persons near the range. Geologists have confirmed gold-bearing quartz in the region. And strange stone walls, steps, and cuts have been found in places with no modern trail access. Were these natural formations or remnants of ancient mining? Some suggest they predate European arrival by centuries. And if the Apache were guarding the gold, did they inherit their knowledge from a civilization now forgotten? Archaeological clues suggest ancient desert cultures, perhaps the Hohokam or something earlier, had access to gold. But no full-scale mining tools have been found, hinting that the activity may have been small, secret, and highly ritualized. The question remains, was the gold real, or was the real treasure the sacred knowledge that died with its last guardians? When Spanish explorers marched north from Mexico in the 1500s, they were chasing whispers of Cibola, the 7 cities of gold. Their maps were fantasies, their hopes fueled by greed. But the origin of the story may not have been European fantasy at all. Pueblo and oral traditions spoke of sacred cities where light danced off golden stone, where the gods descended in beams of fire. Some stories spoke of cities that appeared only in sunlight, their gold hidden behind illusion. When Francisco Coronado arrived, he found the Zuni and Hopi peoples, who lived in adobe towns and cliffside settlements, advanced societies, but not golden empires. Coronado was furious. He saw no gold, but what he missed was the metaphor. For the Puebloans, the golden cities were sacred places, often metaphorical, sometimes real, but never vulgar stores of wealth. They referred to places of ritual, transformation, and celestial alignment. Still, archaeologists have found pigment stones, mica-rich sandstone, and golden-colored mineral deposits around ceremonial centers. Some petroglyphs, etched high on canyon walls, depict what appear to be star paths or shining mountains. Could these be symbolic maps? The desert Southwest is full of abandoned sites, many of which show signs of careful alignment with solstices and equinoxes, golden light marking golden places. In this context, gold was not mined for wealth, but honored through architecture and alignment. Was there physical gold in Cibola? Perhaps. But to understand what the ancient Americans valued, we must redefine the idea of treasure. The Inca are rightly famous for their gold. They shaped it into suns, jewelry, armor, and even entire walls. But few people know that the Inca Empire extended far beyond what most modern maps show. Oral traditions from Ecuador, Panama, and even parts of southern Mexico tell of Inca emissaries traveling north long before Columbus. The Inca built roads that stretched thousands of miles, winding through mountains, across jungles, and into lands we rarely associate with their empire. These roads, called Capacñan, are still being rediscovered today. In northern Peru, the Chachapoya culture, often absorbed into the Inca, built high-altitude cities that some claim were the northern end of an Inca gold network. The Quilasacas, a now-lost group referenced in 16th-century Spanish accounts, were said to have guarded ancient gold mines that were never fully mapped or controlled. In one tale, a Spanish party followed native guides into the Andes to find the source of golden artifacts seen in Chachapoya temples. They vanished without a trace. Centuries later, explorers in the 1900s found smelting pits, collapsed shafts, and gold-laced pottery in the same region. Could this have been a gold trail stretching north from Cusco? Some evidence suggests that small Inca outposts reached all the way to present-day Colombia and beyond. If true, it would mean the Inca, or their cultural ancestors, may have seeded knowledge of gold working into the greater Americas. These weren't just trade routes. They were sacred veins of energy and ceremony, connecting mountains, stars, and the divine substance of gold. While the West gets most of the gold legends, the eastern U.S. holds its own golden mysteries, less flashy, more secretive, and arguably more ancient. Among the Osage, Shawnee, Cherokee, and Creek peoples, there are stories of singing mountains that glowed with yellow veins and caves that wept gold. One legend from the Ozarks speaks of a living vein, a gold stream protected by spirits that could only be approached during specific moon phases. In the 1800s, settlers in Missouri and Kentucky reported strange stone inscriptions, ancient tools, and caved-in tunnels in isolated hills. Some farmers unearthed what they believed to be ancient crucibles, but the strangest case may be Fort Mountain, Georgia. In 1921, a local man claimed he stumbled on a stone-sealed chamber inside a cave. Inside were gold tablets, 2 preserved bodies, and strange carvings. Before researchers could examine it, the cave was mysteriously sealed. While modern scholars debate the claim, the story spread across the Southeast. We know that Mississippian cultures were accomplished metalworkers, primarily with copper, but small gold artifacts have surfaced in burial sites, from Ohio to Alabama. Their style doesn't match Mesoamerican goldwork, suggesting a separate or earlier gold tradition. Could gold have been used ceremonially among the Eastern Woodlands people? If so, why did it vanish? One theory suggests a widespread prohibition on mining gold, believed to disturb ancestral spirits. Another proposes that gold use was wiped out by colonial pressure and cultural collapse. Either way, The Appalachians may still guard gold that was never meant to be seen. Hidden high in the misty cloud forests of Peru are the forgotten cities of the Chachapoya, a people the Inca called the warriors of the clouds. Their stone towers, mountaintop fortresses, and mysterious burial sites have barely been explored. In recent decades, explorers have uncovered cities like Cuelap, larger than Machu Picchu and possibly older. Spanish chroniclers wrote of Quilasacas, reclusive highland people who mined gold in vertical shafts so deep they were said to reach the roots of the earth. These people refused to show their mines to outsiders. When threatened, they collapsed entire mountain passages and disappeared. Modern explorers in the Lemebamba region have found melted gold in ceramic vessels, soot-stained walls, and hidden shafts too narrow for modern tools. One shaft, discovered in 2011, was lined with pictographs that may represent stars or sacred dates, indicating mining was tied to celestial cycles. The Chachapoya used gold in ornaments, ritual masks, and offerings, but unlike the Inca, they rarely displayed it in public. This secrecy has led some to theorize that their mines were inherited, not created. Could they have protected a much older gold network, dating back to a pre-Chachapoya civilization lost to jungle time? LiDAR scans in 2018 revealed hundreds of unexplored stone structures in the region, suggesting many golden mysteries remain, sealed in moss and mist. In the mythology of many indigenous American nations, not all gold came from the earth. Some came from the sky. The Lakota speak of star iron, material delivered in fire. The Hopi describe sky beings who gifted golden discs. The Anishinaabe tell of sacred stones that glowed like suns. Meteorites were sacred across the continent, treated not just as tools, but as spiritual objects. Some even found their way into burial mounds, placed at the hearts of effigies or inside ceremonial drums. In the 1800s, explorers in the Ohio Valley found a gold-colored tablet inside a mound, covered in unknown markings. It vanished before it could be studied. Could these items have been meteoric in origin, high in nickel, iron, or even gold? Or were they something else entirely? Across Central America, Olmec and Maya carvings depict objects that resemble golden helmets, tools, or devices descending from the sky. Were these metaphors, memories, or mythologized technology? Whatever the origin, the concept of sky-gifted gold appears again and again. It raises a profound possibility that gold was sacred not only because of its beauty, but because it came from beyond. In this context, the lost mines may not be mines at all, but sites of celestial impact where the divine met the material and gold fell like stars. Gold in ancient America was more than a metal. It was an idea, a manifestation of sunlight, divinity, and ancestral power. The lost gold trails were not roads to riches, but pathways of knowledge, ritual, and balance. Across the continent, indigenous cultures revered gold but never hoarded it. They offered it, shaped it, hid it, and protected it. Today, as we rediscover sacred mines, ceremonial artifacts, and unexplained ruins, we must ask, what were our ancestors truly guarding? Was it the gold, or what it represented? In the stories of lost mines, hidden trails, and vanishing cities, a deeper truth emerges, one that transcends material treasure. These were not mere legends. They were warnings, blueprints, and maps of a world that once valued spirit over wealth. The gold is still out there, but perhaps the real secret isn't where it lies. It's why it was hidden, and whether we're ready to understand the world it once illuminated.